OG versus Tundra Esports. Game 2.
Tundra Esports turn to Van.
Yes, drafting time. Continue your thoughts.
Yeah, you're right. I did notice something about it. Back to you, Shiver.
Great. No, we need to talk about something that I thought was the big elephant in the room. I was watching the draft, and we heard great analysis coming out from Purge earlier about some of the more contested heroes and stuff. Marcy ignored, Primal Beast ignored, Enigma only last phase banned. What's going on?
You know, I would really like for OG to pick something like a Marcy or a roaming style 4 for Taiga, and then just pick some self-sustained type of Timber Saw early on. I know that the hero isn't in the place that it used to be, but that really could be their best approach right now. It's comfort for ATF, and it also gives them an answer to the Zoo.
Yeah, I think like that was my argument, or at least the way that I was thinking about what Lacoste was saying about the Oracle. It's not that the Oracle isn't like good at providing damage and contributing to ganks. It's that the Oracle's the +1, right? And I think Taiga, it can often look a lot better for OG when he is the one to start things, the one to do things. And Oracle doesn't really do that, even though he is active in a lot of ganks. And Marcy would let him do that. Clockwork, something like that, would let him do that.
Yeah, so they are thinking about this here, but Tundra, just go back to that Mirana. It is a hero that Sox has played. It is now a hero that Snaking has played.
It's Snaking's best hero.
So now this hero can be put on either side lane depending on which heroes they want to go here. I don't think this hero is the best hero in Dota, but Tundra are making it look really good.
Yeah, I mean, something that we mentioned, Tundra is trying to break the game. Like, how often do you see position 5 Mirana? And also not starting with the arrow, starting with the Starstorm instead. Reading the recent changes, testing things out, so, these numbers are much higher.
Yeah.
They're better than the arrow. And also the starting items that we wanted to mention, but Jenkins always wanted to be a fool. But yeah, it was
lots of mangoes.
It was 3 mangoes on Slark. Mirana did start with 4 branches, 6 tangos, and the Fairy Fire, being able to trade with whatever comes at her. And okay, this is a bit of an adjustment from OG.
Very cute Primal Beast coming up.
But I do like this more than the Ember already, because Primal Beast as a hero, right, he's flexible in that you can put him on the mid lane, the off lane. You can also have him played as a position 4, the way that Liquid have done it throughout the group stage.
Even 5 is good, honestly.
Yeah. So this hero can give you a lot, but also he's capable of fighting back with very little, right? His lane doesn't have to go incredibly well, even though usually it does.
It does.
And it's just so easy for him to respond to Tundra's early game aggression, right? He has this insane gap close ability that makes him just close off this distance.
You never lack damage with this hero on your team either. Like, he does so much damage with Trample, and it scales too.
And you also do have a hero that goes in without needing an item, something that did happen in the previous game where Sanking can't just run in. You did have Crystal Maiden and Oracle as your supports, so you are relying on that Blink Dagger. This time around, Primal Beast can just go in, have an Oracle behind you, which means that you don't need to care too much. There's going to be Oracle that's going to save you, and something that Jenkins pointed out, you're always going to have enough damage.
That's a really good point. And I just think that this Primal Beast can do so much with so little, even early on, without even getting runes. It's easy for Primal Beast to just walk back base, TP to a lane, and almost always
kill
get
somebody,
a kill,
get back to mid before the creep wave hits the tower.
So often when a mid hero can't get runes, it kind of really sucks for them, because you don't know if a side lane TP is going to translate to a kill. Because when you want to go back to your base, it's best to just go to a side lane, get a kill, and go back mid. A lot of heroes can lose so much by doing that, but Primal Beast isn't one of those heroes. Because
just runs over cliffs to get back.
It's just too simple for him to do it.
I think the big change to Primal Beast that made him good at going in without items, like you guys were mentioning, is the fact that you can use your Uproar during the ult now. Because when you go in and you use the ult, it drives a lot of the focus onto you, and so you just get max Uproar stacks immediately, and then all of a sudden everybody's slowed to a crawl. And you have this massive amount of armor, and yeah, just a massive amount of armor on the hero that has the highest strength gain in the entire game is it's a lot of HP to chew through.
Do you know what looks like a really good hero for Tundra, though? I think they have played it once or twice too already, but the Shadow Demon versus the Primal Beast in the Oracle while having Mirana in your team, you get a setup for the arrow, but you also
trample
get
counter.
you also get a purge to just the purge stops everything that Primal Beast wants to do, right? It stops him from charging, it stops his trample from doing any damage. You also have the disruption to save an ally. It just gives you a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if Tundra go for it here.
Yeah, it's a hard counter to Oracle too, right?
Yeah.
The constant purge on the heals that are coming through when Oracle presses the ult. That one feels really bad to play against.
And if you play 4 and get an early Ags, it just gives you so much more that you can do in the game too. And we've seen that Tundra doesn't mind giving up farm priority to the supports when they need to.
Yeah, at the moment, most of the bans on the side of OG are targeted seemingly to 9. Tusk, of course, we've seen him on the Tusk mid quite a few times, Tiny as well. And now the Luna removed for Skeeter, and there's the Marcy.
Oh, Marcy
Primal Beast on
That's
one
a
beast.
nasty
Definitely didn't expect that one to happen. Usually it's like either banned or you get one.
It's actually one of the sickest combos in Dota too. Like they happen to be the two OP new heroes, so that already is interesting to see them on one team. But the move speed that Marcy provides, and then throwing people back into trample, it's one of the nastiest combos ever. It really makes it so that if this Primal Beast is going to be a core, which it looks like it probably is given these heroes, his scaling with trample is going to be, it's just so much damage.
Yeah, that looks like the spooky 3 coming out from there already. Of course, we have seen Tundra prioritizing the Visage this time earlier out of fear for it getting banned out. Now we also have the Shaker. One thing, though, on the side of Tundra, I don't think, Jenkins, there's any doubt about who's playing what at this point. Or are you expecting some kind of flex somewhere? Ooh, maybe now?
It's back.
It's
Spirit
back.
Breaker.
Mid-Spirit Breaker?
No, still with Tundra. No, we're pretty sure where these heroes are going to go. And I mean, I really like the Earthshaker pick. I really love Earthshaker against these backline heroes like Oracle and Dazzle, because you can go in and focus a guy on the front line, and then you fissure the backline to prevent them from coming in to save. And then Marcy and Primal Beast also are two heroes that run into you and just man up on you, right? And Earthshaker's like, all right, I'll echo slam you, no big deal.
If I was an Oracle player in this game, I would have a really difficult time playing against Spirit Breaker, Shaker, like Mirana, Visage Birds. It just gets very, very difficult as time goes by.
Yeah, I will say though that having the Spirit Breaker and the Earthshaker come out together, it looks like at some point in the game, in the early game, Tundra will lack a lot of damage. We've seen how Soxa likes to rotate while 33 after he secures his lane, and he just kind of farms up, tries to get that Wraith Pack timing, tries to get that pipe timing, and he's just playing with 9 the entire time. But between Spirit Breaker and Earthshaker, they actually don't really have that much damage, so it may be a little bit different to last game in that they can't do the heavily punishing plays that they did in game 1 to OG. OG can easily live through these fights.
How's Timber not picked or banned? Am I crazy here? How isn't this a god tier Timber game now? You're against Visage Birds. You're gonna get max reactive.
When Amar
two
was
strength
on
heroes.
panel, I saw I think 4 strength heroes, and Amar said, you know, it's not a good Timber game. So you know, I do. If someone
Into Earthshaker.
If someone comes to my mind when there's a Timber Saw, that's definitely Amar. But
That is a Phantom Lancer. I mean, Yuragi is good at it, don't get me wrong, but indeed against Shaker.
against Spirit Breaker, like you're gonna know which one is real.
Yes.
You can dodge it though, if you time it correctly, if you have vision. But this is going to be most likely mid-Spirit Breaker, so that means that his abilities are going to be maxed out early on, which makes things more difficult for Phantom Lancer to play the game. And one of the reasons why Tundra does have most Roshan kills per game is this Zoom. Buying all these small items that we mentioned, having this Vlads, having this Wraith Pact early on, which does allow them to kill Roshan and then snowball, get more advantage in the early game.
And this will be the first Phantom Lancer game that OG plays this event.
The thing is, I don't think that this is a bad PL game, though. Like, I look at it, and I can see this PL doing a lot, right? Because you look at his lane versus Earthshaker and Visage, they don't really have that much kill threat on him in the laning stage until there's a rotation, or it becomes just easier to chase them, right? He can disjoint a lot of these spells and get away if he needs to. He can also farm relatively quickly, and when he does get to the point, the only threat on the team is just the Earthshaker Echo Slam. The other 3 heroes are pretty easy for PL. So I can honestly see this going really well for OG. And like I mentioned before, I do think Tundra are going to run into a bit of a problem where they lack some early game damage when they're playing away from the Visage, right? Once Visage is ready to fight, maybe that's not the case, but when they're playing away from him, they just have really slow damage output.
What if they put Earthshaker on the mid lane against the Primal Beast? I mean, this is not the matchup that I've seen, but sounds a bit better than having Spirit Breaker on the mid lane.
Huh. I have seen a bit of Spirit Breaker 4 position throughout the group stage, actually.
Yes, there were a couple.
I could see that being, that makes the Earthshaker much better against the PL as a counter.
Yes,
when he's
because Earthshaker as a 4 is a bit slow, especially if things are not going well, if you don't have like someone to kill the towers early on, which they do have Visage, but you never know how the laning stage is gonna go. So we've seen some Earthshakers struggle to get the Blink Dagger, opting for the Shard sometimes when they cannot get that Blink Dagger.
Well, with the flex potential in mind, the 9 plays Visage sometimes, so there's that. We've seen Mirana coming out from the off lane, and we carry Mirana. Who knows? You know, there's if you're taking it that far, then I think there's everything still possible for
9 did play
Tundra.
mid Mirana.
He also did that. Yeah. And there's a lot of potential. I mean, it's Tundra. There always is a lot of unusual hero matchups in terms of lanes. But with that in mind, they can just wait it out, see what OG goes for with their last and final pick, and then match up the lanes the way they think is beneficial for them.
OG need their last pick to be able to fight really early and fight into this Visage, not like last game. I think they need something that's just online with no resources, and it's just unfortunate that there's no Pango in this game. It gets stand out. That's one of the best heroes to fit the bill for you there.
Yeah, Pango would have been really nice, like stunning the birds, stunning the Earthshaker and the Spirit Breaker who are gonna, jump in there. I mean, there's still Timber, but the question is like, is Timber too like? He'll sit in a lane and farm. Like maybe he's too do nothing.
There's Puck still for OG.
There's a Lifestealer coming out.
I can see the Puck working out. It's really solid against Spirit Breaker too.
This is a good response to what OG has at the moment. Well, this Lifestealer is not afraid of any of these heroes, and it's a good counter to Primal Beast.
Yep, and Tundra seems to be fairly confident that their heroes already answer the PL, of course, because PL against Lifestealer is definitely a PL favored matchup, but on both sides they're saying yes, there are some counters, but we're still confident in our hero pick. I mean, 3 strength heroes and a Visage who's going to give you max reactive stacks. It already felt good, and then the Lifestealer coming out. There's just not much pressure on a Timber.
And now that we know that it's a mid Primal Beast, we can be certain that OG are going to be able to fight into Tundra early on too, because Primal Beast can offer that to you the same way that a Pango does. We just assumed that it would be comboed up with the Marcy, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, right? You're having a Timbersaw who can kind of self-sustain on the lane enables Marcy to go play with the Primal Beast instead of the Primal Beast coming to them.
Yep, she's like the best roamer in the game, so it's funny. Like anytime you come up with this hero is really good in a lane with another one, it's like, well, then you could throw it mid too because she roams mid. She's the best roamer to go mid in the patch.
Yep, and in the end, it's going to be Spirit Breaker played by 9, the old school combo, Lifestealer plus the Spirit Breaker. That's going to be very interesting to watch.
So the thing is, Tundra are playing for a specific timing, and I think that if they kind of mess it up a little bit, then the Timbersaw and the PL are going to scale incredibly well and carry OG to victory here. But if Tundra can pull off what they did in game 1, could be difficult for OG, but I think OG are much better equipped this time around.
From what I can hear from you guys, you feel that OG in the laning stage has got a better solution to what Tundra has this time, so they should be able to properly play their game plan this time around.
Definitely.
It'll be a game. We'll get to see a mid game.
I think they'll do. I honestly think OG will win this one, but we'll see. I don't want to jinx them.
All right, no jinxing is happening here on the side of Tundra. The heroes were picked that we were expecting by the players, so we will see indeed the Mirana position 5 once again. We will see the Shaker on a position 4. There's nothing unusual there other than, unusual is still Spirit Breaker mid. Very curious how that will play out. Do we have a Spirit Breaker versus Primal Beast? Have we seen that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Any reference points?
I was thinking about it, and I guess there's some cool stuff like Bulldoze versus Pulverize, but and then he can charge fast. So if he sees the Primal Beast,
They both charge. They can both just charge.
yeah, they'll
What
charge
happens-
into you.
What happens if Spirit Breaker's charging and Primal Beast is they charge into each other?
We're gonna find out what happens when that indeed plays itself out. We're heading over to Cap, SVG, and Quinn for the answer to that.
Thank you, Sheever. That's right. We're heading into game 2 here. Our panel has already stated, hey, this is looking like a much better setup. Quinn, in fact, backstage was saying, yeah, this game actually looks playable. What changed in the draft that we feel so confident that OG is going to have a better time game 2?
I think the lanes are much easier for OG to function. I also think whenever you look at the way the damage is dealt this game compared to the prior game, if anything, I would say Tundra is more in terms of this similar low damage types of thing. You have Shaker, you have Spirit Breaker, you have Potom, who without a really good start is not super high damage, Lifestealer. It's a lot of these sort of very mid-range damage heroes sort of go from the front. You're against a Timbersaw, you're against an Oracle, Primal who's tankier than the Ember last game, PL who has very, very good scaling this game. I think there's a lot of dynamics that are nicer for OG this game.
Yeah, I think the two heroes that OG want going in the series, in a sense, are Pango, which is getting first phase banned. I don't think they're ever going to get it. And to me, the Timber. I think Timber is, outside of the Tide, the one hero Amar plays that can have a really good early game and then be that bulwark in the mid game versus what we saw last game, which is Tundra going high ground in 20 minutes, right? Timbersaw thrives in that environment as long as he gets a good start. And I mean, we're looking at the best Timbersaw player in the world right now. I've watched this guy all season long destroy people on Timbersaw, and I expect nothing else. Like, this is the time to show up. We were joking about it, but if you looked at those last ban phase, go back 3 months, they banned Razor and Viper last 2, and he got Timber. These were the 3 that were first phase banned, and he always got 1. So very much in Amar's comfort zone. Obviously, the hero's a bit different now, but my expectations are just as high.
Yeah, I mean, he's someone who understands the hero at such a level. His item build from game to game, you'll see it shift like crazy. One game, he'll go the classic, the Hood, Kaya Sanj. The game against us, he had like a 4-staff, a Yules, a Halberd.
Yeah.
Some crazy builds. He bought it like no Kaya. Dude understands the hero at a really deep level.
I remember watching that game and thinking, like, I've never seen so much utility out of Amar before in my life.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was super right for the game.
Definitely going to be a very different change of pace. I'm also curious about this mid matchup. The panel discussed a little bit the Spirit Breaker versus the Primal Beast. This matchup's very weird, right? Because you're, I say that, and already off to a different pace. That Timbersaw lane getting damage done between the heavy nuke damage. Snaking pays the price with level 1 Starstorm.
Yeah, it seems Snaking just really underestimated the firepower of this lane. That's very awkward. But yeah, back to this. I mean, we don't ever see this matchup. What is this?
I don't think anybody's ever seen this matchup. Maybe
Quinn,
only
have you ever played this one?
I've never played or seen this. It looks like it might be Spirit Breaker favored.
Yeah, if you Quinn, walk us through the details of this matchup.
Yeah, really get into the minutia.
So Unga Bunga. That's most of it. Yeah.
He's walking him down.
Oh, there it is. You said it. It's just who bigger, you know, who bigger who.
He isn't
That's all it
yell.
And Primal, yeah, Primal Beast has got the uproar. He's the biggest yeller.
I'm not sure what happened. Maybe 9 charged him aggressively to try and stop him from CSing, and then he got yelled on. He might have like pushed it a bit too much, because I think what should happen is both of the 70 damage Unga Bunga heroes should just like CS realistically for most of the lane. But I think he might have got a little too aggressive, and it's a pretty costly death. You get behind on levels, and suddenly maybe this starts happening more.
Yeah, he's being pressured again by BCM.
I mean, it seems like you have to save this charge for the trample disconnect, you know? And if that's on cooldown, this matchup looks not that much fun. On top of that, this Bulldoze working with how the Primal Beast ults worked isn't that great, because you can't status resist it. It's kind of it's a weird matchup, right? I'm not sure if the planar pocket thing is still in there too.
The planar pocket completely negates his ult.
It just ends, right?
It just negates. So this is a very weird matchup on how the spells interact. I don't know. We might see some crazy stuff. But I'm a mid Spirit Breaker. I mean, you can't not love it, right? Charge on charge.
We're gonna have a lot of fun with this one, that's for certain. Bottom lane, 33 under pressure here. You're gonna have to throw out the Fissure. They throw some damage back at Roggy. Roggy's okay. Man, he was really thinking. He doesn't even have Phantom Rush. There was no way he was gonna do anything there.
I mean, he might regret that Lance. Now, pretty much 0 mana, so if he ever gets Soul Assumption, he's not going to have a way to dodge it with no Doppelganger. And no more kill potential with no more Lances either, so he's going to be in CS and chill mode for the rest of this lane now with no mana, realistically.
That said, I feel like OG's a bit happier with CS and Chill with the PL versus
Yes.
Visage as opposed to the Morph? Because the PL can actually hit the early Diffusal, Manta, Heart, whatever order you want to go to get those items, and suddenly Visage teamfight becomes a lot more annoying, right? You have a great Wraith Pack killer, you have a great hero that can go and tank up a lot of the early attention spells and suddenly turn the tide. I feel like OG's a lot happier with this laning phase than last game.
Yeah, but I think you've also got a lot better ways to rebuff this Visage if he goes to your tower. You've got a Timber who can TP in. Good luck killing him this game. You got a Primal who can gank the Visage. Once PL gets this diff you, Visage just can't just kick him out on his own. Like, PL's going to come in and say, yeah, come fight me. I'll burn all your mana. I'll kill you, you know? So I think Visage, this game compared to last game, it is not even close to the same like level of terror.
I agree. You going to arrow Timbersaw under his tower and dive him? It might be a different story.
So it looks like OG, CS-wise, pretty happy with all their lanes. The Phantom Lancer, who's bottom of the bunch, really isn't that far behind. Seems like mid lane's going very well, which is a little surprising to me. Taiga is going to be able to pick up the kill on Seeking again here, as he just does not seem to match up well against this 4 Oracle. Misha getting a little bit low, but so is 33. Yuragi gunning for it. Does have one more Phantom Rush, and that final swing will get the kill. A big one. Be able to take down 33's Visage. Already setting him behind in laning phase.
3 OG cores pushing the top here of CS and Net Worth. Very different start from last game. I think this is what they wanted to have happen last game, where that early magic damage draft can come in. This time, I think their draft's a lot more well-rounded, and they're having a way better early game. Should bode very well for them.
That was not how I
charge beat Spearbreaker charge?
That was not how I thought that interaction was going to go. And it makes me question, like, besides the planar pocket, like, if the charge isn't going to be working, then what? Maybe it's something about the angle there, because I feel like
you just have to yell louder.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Everybody knows the mics, they have volume detection, so if you yell louder while you're charging, the game...
It's like a DS.
Yeah, exactly. It's the 4th barrier. It gives you the charge advantage.
I mean, we have so many innovations in Dota. What's one more for this line event, you know?
Some shenanigans going on. I mean,
Level 6 already on BZM.
This setup is pretty rough. Like, if he ever presses Trample, 9 is just going to lose, like, you know, a third of his HP, maybe half. Uh-oh.
Not looking so good here. Nice dodge there. Not getting hit by the Aftershock. The Fisher may allow Soxa to get back to the tower in time.
Yeah, we saw the charge icon down there too. That was not 9 setting up a gank. That was 9 surviving the gank on mid. And now having to walk back to base. BZM with the earlier level 6 just pulverizes him back to the fountain. Taiga with some rotations. Again, 4 Oracle. OG's playbook for the event. They believe in what this hero can provide in terms of sustain for their Tricore. And if the Tricore comes online, it's going to be a lot more powerful.
Hello. Goodbye.
He did steal the haste rune, though.
Oh, nice. That was a good pickup. Because Primal Beast with the haste rune is, I mean, that hero already, I love this Primal Beast mid. I mean, it just feels like it has so much impact. We start off with the last chance qualifier. We watched Thompson play it. Even if they didn't manage to make it through that event, they still showed the strength of this mid Primal Beast. He just is everywhere around the map constantly.
Yeah, this hero is very, very strong. The kill threat he provides is crazy. He gives you initiation. He can scale like crazy. He gives you a buttload of stuns as the game progresses.
These lanes are just non-stop fighting.
Yeah, Misha's going to get a bit low here. Enough to push him back. Here comes the
actual charge.
First big rotation. The actual charge coming in from 9. They're going to start throwing some damage into Yuragi. They manage to force him to use the Doppelganger early, which means this charge is going to be beautifully placed. Misha interrupt, but they can't quite stop it. 9 still gets off his ultimate and will be able to get the kill on BZM is now here. And he just grabs up Soxa, slams his head into the pavement, and bye-bye supports. There's nowhere for him to run to. Taiga will gladly take that killing spree. He's like, you know what, guys? Yeah, I'm going to play the sacrificial role. I'm going to play these healers and stuff, but I still want the last hits.
This right here is not what you want to see.
Yeah.
The Lifestealer has been kicked out of his lane, and that is a worry. If you're ever on the team with Lifestealer and he's getting forced to leave.
BZM protecting Taiga, and the setup here. Taiga secures the kill with the Purifying Flames. Dominating streak for him.
Yeah, I mean, sort of the flip script from last game. You start to worry about Tundra's damage a little bit. Suddenly, the Shaker, Spearbreaker, Nakes together. Level 3 Potom. You're looking at, you know, a Timbersaw and a Primal with an Oracle behind them. You're wondering, I wonder if they're going to be able to kill these heroes as time progresses.
I don't see Amar ever dying in this game. What is actually going to kill this guy? The Visage can't do much to him. The other heroes you said not doing much. Are they going to get a fast Vessel in this game? I don't even think they're going to get fast Urn. I mean, this guy's going to be invincible. And
oh, he's begging for a badge. Okay, they do manage to get it off of the Fisher. Skeeter is joining in here. I mean, they got to do something a little bit funky here because, as you said, this game is not setting up well. So apparently all the cores are going to come into this mid area and try and chase down BZM with the Uproar. He's got some armor, so he's not the easiest to kill, but he will eventually go down.
Just 5 mana off that onslaught, no escape mechanism. That's a huge pickup for them. That is the one core they can try and abuse, because the Phantom Lancer, maybe you kill him once more or whatever, but he is going to escape to the jungle. You're not going to find him for a while. This Timber Saw is invincible. You got to try and abuse something on the map here for Tundra, and it's probably this BZM. You know, abuse him with your charge him back. OG's going to have free reign playing behind the Mar right now. He's once again trying to solo kill Snaking.
They have the burst, spells, half a second off.
I mean, you could see Amar drawing circles there a second ago. Like, he's clearly a bit frustrated. This Bottom's able to sit up here and stall. Like, the tower probably could have died maybe a minute and a half earlier, but the Bottom's up there being annoying, dragging some waves. And the move Tundra made Bottom earlier, where the Oracle TP, the Marcy TP's back down there, Primal TP, suddenly this Bottom gets some time up top. Nakes is just farming mid the whole time. You can see he got kicked out of the lane, but his net worth is not bad. It's considerably above the PL, so the move from Tundra Bottom earlier, having pretty big dividends for slowing down this Timber a little bit inadvertently.
And with the damage problems we outlined for Tundra, it feels like Mirana actually having levels could be really important.
Yeah, those levels in Starstorm make a lot of difference.
I mean, the levels for both supports. Like, the extra Fissure levels. This Fissure is a pretty high damage nuke now, but you need the levels, potentially Shard, to really maximize it.
Yeah, particularly with the 10 talent, we've talked about that. How good it is with the Shard and everything. It's a surprising amount of damage.
This is like last game, Amar moving down bottom to defend the tower against the 33 Visage push, only now he can actually do it, right?
Yeah.
He is a much bigger boy with a lot more armor than that Sand King.
Snake King, he went and denied the rune. The Fisher comes out, and BZM still managed to get the charge forward. Snake King is going to be grabbed up here. Slam, slam, slam. He doesn't have a leap, so bye-bye, Snake King. 9-4, OG, not up by a huge amount of net worth, but it does feel like they're kicking things into gear, and it's about to start snowballing against Tundra.
Oh yeah, they got all the levels in the world on BZM here, and last game, it was hard to get this Oracle in the game because their cores were behind. This game, BZM, as we're seeing, they can use the Oracle early nuke damage to help them get these kills. OG has all the damage in the world on these early games. They are also going to have double purge, right? You have Fortune's End, you have Timbersaw rushing Yules. It's another interaction that makes the game hard for 9. He's not just going to have free bulldoze going in, charging, getting the connection, and dealing the damage. You get Yules once, you get purged once.
I'll TP for top.
Check in with the teams there for a second, just seeing what they're up to, and it feels like OG, they feel pretty good about them. They do have Tundra. They are going to have to start making some moves, and Skeeter, once again, is going to try and get involved here. As he's going to go infest inside of 9. They're going to try and set this up. 9 actually popping out of that smoke. Taiga's already here as well. They're going to start scouting things behind the tower. They're going to go for Amar, but Taiga is behind him. They need to be able to address this Oracle and kill him quickly. They get that fast kill, and now Amar, let's see if they can chase him down. Saksa was on the other side of things. He's going to need to hit a lot of stuns, and the rest of OG, yeah, they're here. Amar turning around with the Chakra, the Moonlight Shadow, allows them to get on top of BZM. Oh, they didn't have any detection. They didn't expect this one. Even with the arrow coming, it's not needed. They just bursted down that Primal Beast. Where was all that damage? Is the Life Stealer just pumping out a lot of damage on that Primal Beast?
Yeah, apparently so. I mean, I think this Timber TP bottom maybe looks a lot better than it actually was. I think if you compare it to like the games where this TP feels extremely powerful, there's not that much pressure on the next top. You see him just pour top and he just runs all the way down the lane. And the way this Timber is bottom, like it's not like Tundra's forced to go there. They're not getting squeezed elsewhere, you know? So he's sitting there and he's not really pressuring much. He's delaying the tower some, sure, but at any point, Tundra has the map sorted themselves. They can make this move there, and it's a bit awkward for OG.
Yeah, they're trying to run it back and get the punish without the numbers. Double core commitment for OG.
Saksa trying to intercept. It was good echo, but unfortunately, he just doesn't have the damage. Doesn't have the levels, no aftershock, or just level 1 rather. So he's probably going to get chased down as well, and Snaking just has to fully abandon this bottom lane. OG showing up in force.
I think that was the type of skirmish they were looking for, right? It has to connect between Amar and BZM, being those frontliners, getting in there, setting up the fight. Like you said, Skeeter does get to push this top lane all the way to the tier 1. He will enjoy this time. He's catapulting up the net worth. Yuragi not far behind, though. He got tier 1 mid on his own during all that fighting. Pretty big objective for OG they got for free, and I mean, he's cruising as well. This is a pretty damn good Phantom Lancer game.
Yeah, very scary. I think if anything, in the past couple minutes, Yuragi probably the biggest winner, having this bit of downtime where he can just ignore everything, pretend there are no other heroes in the game. He's playing World of Warcraft, and he is just collecting the gold like it's his job. And it kind of is.
A little bit of PvE action for him.
The carry player's dream.
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about they don't have that many answers to Phantom Lancer. How good is Spirit Breaker in that regard? When he gets to like his Aghanim Scepter and his like the AoE charges that he does, can he be okay?
I think Spirit Breaker's fine. Like Spirit Breaker and Shaker, they both give you tools to help control the Lancer a little bit. In the very late game, I think the Spirit Breaker matchup gets better because his damage gets amped a lot, right? If we're talking like Sange and Kaya territory with Ags and you're just getting huge charge throughs. You can also take the fight on the backline with the Breaker and kind of ignore the PL a little bit.
Sure.
With the Visage Birds coming in to help, can be a route they go. In terms of direct counters though, maybe you're going to try and build some Maelstroms. Skeeter's already queuing one up. I mean,
you're going to need a lot of small counters put together, right? Because the Lifestealer, he really doesn't address Phantom Lancer at all.
Yeah, I mean, you have the stuns on Tundra, but you don't really have the damage. So maybe there's some point where PL doesn't have the tankiness yet. Maybe he's got a Yasha and he's working on a Manta, you know, but he doesn't have the heart yet. And maybe there's some good fight where they can abuse the stuns. But there comes a point where the heart starts coming around. Maybe it gets a little bit spooky for Tundra. There's a window there where they really lack the damage to deal with this PL.
Comes the charge. Don't even need to use the ultimate for BZM. Once again, Snaky's just going to the lanes that I think nobody else really wants to go to. And occasionally he'll tank a death or two, but he's just trying to get something out of this. 33. They want this. Oh, no.
Knocked to the low ground.
Got knocked to the low ground, and Misha pursues after him. Oh, that wasn't what you wanted whatsoever. Did Misha, I wonder if Misha had the idea that, like, don't worry, guys, I'll toss him back up on the high ground. Because that is not the place he wanted to be, for certain.
I mean, there's a lot of hero displacement spells in this game.
Yeah, there is.
Like an acrobat session or something. People are going to be bounced around. I think, yeah, we see Yuragi. He's actually going S and Y here. So he's going to build S and Y into Heart. That is going to be extremely hard for Tundra to deal with. Meanwhile, BZM, he's just keeping his foot on the pedal here.
Yep, trying to go for Zoxa. They do have Skeeter showing up with a charge coming through as well. BZM may be in a bit of trouble here, but Taiga's sitting in the back. He's ready to go with the save of the False Promise. Misha, he's going to use it there. Taiga, Misha turns around. He does what damage he can. False Promise is going to wear out and probably will die here, but at least he did some damage on his way out. Taiga almost getting charged. They lose vision. Now they get into the charge. Oh, the self-purge. What a beauty. And a big onslaught in from BZM. Knocking back 4. He'll bring down Snake King first with the Infest inside of his 9. They're going to be able to get a little bit of a reset here. But is OG going to keep pursuing? Is Tundra going to fight back underneath this tower? Both teams posturing, feinting, but ultimately not pulling the trigger.
What a sick Fortune's End by Taiga there. Catches them both, prevents the charge connection. Gets the purge as well. And BZM is just rampaging.
The damage is just overwhelming. A DD for BZM. Sees the charge in from 9 and knows, hey, that's a freebie. That's all me right there.
Yeah, I mean, here's where the map starts to get a little bit spooky for Dire. Suddenly, things are really open. This PL has a lot of free reign, and Tundra still hasn't taken this bottom tier 1. All the towers still up. You start looking at places where you can realistically get kills, and those places are few and far between. The biggest one being this bottom area, and OG is taking advantage and winning those fights. So, where is Tundra going to open things up?
Yeah, there's only one place Tundra can fight, and it's always Amar sitting here, preventing them from doing that. 9's going to TP down, but he's just stuck here too. He's trying to get the Shadow Blade, an item that can help them open up some of these areas, make it scarier for the PL to push deep. It has to connect with something though. I don't think the Spear Breaker has enough damage on his own. It has to connect with the Mirana or the Earthshaker on top. Soxa is choosing to go Shard over the Blink, so he will play off those fissures, got the levels of it, needs some extra Aftershock.
Yeah, it makes sense. It feels like they do need the impact right now, right? I mean, we start stalling out the game any longer, we get to the point you were talking about, right? Where the Phantom Lancer is too tanky for them to deal with.
Yeah, it is very spooky. I mean, Avery talks about this Spirit Breaker being able to pick people off a little more, but...
Grabbed. Skeeter does still have the Rage. No Infest, though, so he's going to have to back out. BZM realizing that he's actually still has some capabilities of fighting here, especially with the rest of OG backing him up.
Tundra was smoking there. I think they really wanted to be there at that moment to take the fight, turn it around with the lifestealer.
They still have an opportunity, maybe able to burst down BCM to get him. And the jump in from Nisha puts him in a nasty position. Skeeter should be able to finish this up. Once again, there's going to be the false promise, but Misha knows he's dead. He'll just go down fighting where he can. Amar's going to show up. Skeeter needs to go. No, that's the offense, and he's dead. Overextending himself. Echo. Oh, Uragi has overextended himself. And the Fisher straight over onto Amar was a nice touch there from Soxa as well.
All right, Tundra striking back with this random river fight that just connected off the back of that smoke. BZM did not get BKB off or anything. That's a completely different fight if it goes the other way. Moonlight Shadow. This spell, it works at TI for a reason. Snaking, busting it out, doing a huge amount of work off the back of the smokes in this ult.
I feel like this Primal Beast just dies so quickly whenever Skeeter's in the... I wonder if he should build some sort of armor on him. I mean, he's only got 6 base armor.
Yeah, he might need a plate mail, or maybe he just needs to come in late and not be the one getting beat up by the snakes. I mean, this whole fighting situation here, I think, maybe there's an element of people who played at TI several times versus some new players. I think BZM, not getting the BKB off and being slightly out of range with the Oracle. There's a lot of like little small things there that are slightly messed up that, ends up costing you pretty big. Your PL dies.
Snaking, not able to get that second leaf off in time. Misha grabs him, stuns him, and brings him down to the grave with Amar picking up the killing spree.
That's it. I think OG, they are playing this game very fast, and they have a lot of wiggle room to it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, Tundra needs a lot more of those fights before I think they feel very confident going into this late game. And again, this is OG's playbook, right? You have the Amar damage dealing offlaner. You have this Tricore with the power of the sustain behind it. This is a scary lineup to scale into. This Primal Beast can also scale like a monster. I mean, you're talking about Ags, Shivas, Shard down the road. This hero's spooky in the late game. So you have to worry about this PL timings if you're Tundra, but you also have to worry about what happens after that if you get past that point. And they're doing a good job of, equalizing the net worth differential here. Soxa has got a lot of farm in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Like, he's almost a blink on top of the Shard. Those fights helping him. OG want to keep the pace up, looking for 33.
The birds are going to drop, stopping that channel. Shouldn't be a problem here for 33 to get out, but maybe Tundra wants to go back in. They see Amar. Skeeter leading the charge. He's going to start slowing him down with the Maelstrom. Actually does a little bit of damage there. BCM, he was trying to hunt down Soxa. Now the turnaround Fisher, and once again, he's just getting 100 to 0. No BKB going off. 33. Uragi was trying to dress him to be able to eat through that cloak, but now Tundra playing together, went back to 33, made sure the Phantom Lancer wasn't a problem. Now they're going to try and chase down some more heroes, and that's going to be Taiga. Once again, he's following his course into battle, but when they lose that fight, he has no way out, and he is just the +1 after every lost team fight.
Some rare mistakes from BZM, honestly. A player who's been extremely dominant over the past year. Just not getting the BKB off, not getting the DD off, maybe feeling a bit antsy, feeling like, man, we're so strong, I want to fight Tundra. They're like just out of the reach. He tries for this charge, but he reaches a bit too far, getting a little bit too thirsty for that fight, and it's a big kill. I mean, like Avery said, they need a lot of these. Like, Tundra keeps winning these small fights, and it feels nice, but it's not like a game-ending thing, But at some point, they add a bit too much, and maybe the pendulum swings back into Tundra's favor.
Yeah, every one of these little skirmishes you lose, you're putting your PL timing back a little bit, right? Yeah, and that's the timing that you want to hit and get the Roshan and get the full map control going. That timing's a little worse every one of these skirmishes you loses, and also for BZM.
Yeah, I can.
Check in with the teams.
He wants to charge.
I'm going.
Hammer, you can fight. Kill. Go, I'm here. Can you heal? Push in one. Shake us up. I don't like, please. I don't like, she's too much. I die.
The call for the Yules there. I mean, if they had gotten that +1 hero, then that would have been such a massive difference, but
I think a pretty good sign they were able to call that off. I think sometimes when your core players maybe a bit nervous, they can get roped into some stuff, and him saying, no, I don't like this, I'm not doing this, I'm gonna die. Like, I think having that awareness and not getting, pulled into something you don't like, I think is very clutch.
Soxa, this could be deadly.
This is the blink reveal too.
This is the blink reveal. He's gonna go and with this smoke get a really nice lane ward, but if the smoke breaks right here, he's gonna go for it. Fisher goes out, jumps straight in, Echo, half health already, but the damage still isn't there. They need more fall from the rest of the team. Skeeter's trying to do what he can, but the false promise already got out on Uragi. Uragi's gonna go back in. He needs that Aegis. Wants to be able to pick it up. BZM managed to snatch it away. Now grabs up the lifesteal. Misha. He's going to fall, but the fight is won, and Tundra are on the retreat. 33 going to be chased down by BZM. Big, bad, primal beast slows him down, and they're going to just keep the vision. 33 has no way out of this one, I think. Slowly but surely, they're going to catch up to him. They're going to work him down, and that is going to be 3 heroes dying and the Aegis picked up for OG. What a turn that could have been if only Tundra had been there with more heroes. Saksa hit the entry, but there was no follow-up.
Huge amount of damage on that jump. That's the power of the Oracle, though. Keeps those cores alive, and more importantly, it's not BZM going down first. Means he gets free spells, free BKB this time, no misclicks or any bad clicks that fight. Gets the Aegis snatch as well.
Yeah,
now
those Zoomer hands
in a comfortable position.
The Zoomer hands come in handy. It's crazy how much impact these fights where everyone is just clicking Roche and somebody clicks it first. Like, it has such a giant impact on the game. Maybe if Nakes takes that, the fight swings the other way. But, you know, now suddenly Tundra's sort of in that position where they really don't want to take that fight.
Shout out to BZM for that positioning there. Him being able to charge back in was super important.
And even Misha is just staying alive in these fights for a huge amount of time. There's a lot of sustain on this OG lineup, and if you run out of damage, the damage from Tundra is pretty discreet. You have your spells you throw out, the fissure, the charge. They live through that, gives PL the turn. Aegis helps these fights stay even longer. Tundra need to think about who they're prioritizing these fights, who they're jumping, who they're going on, syncing the damage up with the stuns, and then maybe resetting, right? You don't want to get caught in a situation where you're giving too much time for PL without the control on. Maybe the one upside is Aegis is not on that Phantom Lancer. Yeah. The sieging is a bit worse from OG, but that said, I don't think Yuragi's too scared. BZM definitely isn't.
No, he is not scared at all. They're going to once again do the turnaround with a Fissure and put some damage onto him. But of course, not only does he have Oracle, he's got the Aegis, he's got a BKB.
Charge from behind.
Out there. Ooh, this is interesting. Vanish gets 2. The most important hero, Oracle, dies first, and Misha's going to fall too. BZM has already lost his Aegis. Tundra, this charge in from 9 may have just set them up for a fantastic team fight. The second part, he's going to get the charge on through. Doesn't actually hit the real Phantom Lancer, but the charge comes in from BZM this time with the onslaught. He's going to go for the BKB TP out and just make sure he stays alive. Thanks to the uproar, that extra armor is going to go to work.
What a disaster of a push. What a charge angle from 9.
How did he get that?
He was just an enemy jungle farming after the Lost Roche fight. Just comes in from behind. He had the charge on the Primal Beast you showed. Ends up catching the Oracle with the Infest. Don't mind if I do right there, sir.
I mean, I think 9 quietly playing a really, really good game. I think keeping up this level of net worth on a Spearbreaker, especially after such a rough start, after the map being kind of scary, like him having this 10,000 net worth, having this BKB, continuing the scaling is really important, not only for like their continued scaling, but also just like it's so important for their heroes that he's able to have this net worth. I think 9's played a really good game so far.
Yeah, Spearbreaker is one of those as a core, it kind of snowballs in that regard, right? If you get to the Shadow Blade, Aghanim Scepter and such, and you one-shot waves, then you just continue to build up on those items. But if you don't get to that point, you just become another support, perhaps. Uh-oh. He's going to maybe have to blow the BKB. Nope, the Fissure's going to come through. Really good setup. Another Iseko. They're going to change it on Yuragi. Oh, the offside. It's not enough to be able to save him. The BKB goes out from 9. They go for the Infest. 9 can keep the charge going up, and he's immediately, he had a laser focus. He is looking out for that Oracle. He's got a head on a swivel, and he found him, and now they're going to be able to get the Timber Saw as well. 9. Really good save. I mean, Skeeter jumping inside of him enabled that in the first place, but 9 being able to find the right hero to charge every time.
And that's a sign of a Visage play right there, too. It didn't even look like the bird was even close, but he knows the range of the drop so well. He just barely clips him on the edge. Getting that +1 kill, like, that's the top net worth Timber Saw. The amount of gold you get from that, the amount of time this guy's dead. Now, suddenly, they take over the map. The Spearbreaker gets more items. Nakes finishes off the Mjolnir, which has a really large impact dealing with this PL. And PL doesn't even have heart yet.
Yeah, I feel like OG wanted to use that Aegis to get to that PL timing, get him the heart, and then cement this game. In that last 5 minutes, Tundra's taken over this game. These charges are just nasty. You get the charge through on multiple heroes, the Infest Bomb comes out, there's a Fissure follow-up, an Aftershock follow-up on that. It's so much AoE control. There's not much spell immunity on this OG side. They just got that BKB on Amar. The BZN one he's had forever, but for the rest of these OG heroes, they're still trying to get there. I mean, Misha's trying to get to his own.
I almost feel like there's a little bit of a displacement between the Yuragi and where his items are at and how he's playing. I feel like if he has the heart, he can be like kind of frontline like he's been doing, but without that, it's just so many times he's been fissured. They've been able to, like, as you say, charge through, and just a lot of, like, incidental damage brings him down to, like, half health.
I mean, it's also about how OG wants to start the fights. It's a bit awkward for OG to find the opening.
Yeah.
You have this Shadowblade breaker charging around the map. Everybody's Moonlight shadowed, like haste rune drummed around in the back line. You're not going to find this Shaker. He has Force Staff and Blink now. Do you want to just go on the Visage? It's pretty awkward, right? Even the Nace is invested. You don't even see these heroes.
Elite Mana Force Staff. Snake King, with Yule's on cooldown. He'll be able to just TP out before Nisha is able to put a stop to him. We have the Aghanim Scepter now done on the Visage, so big damage upgrade. We said damage was a problem for Tundra, and that is a huge, huge upgrade right there. BZM, though, does now have his own Aghanim Scepter, so look out for that one, and the break mechanic, too.
They're sneaking. Another charge.
BKB immediately going to go out. They're going to try and disengage. They force something out of Amar, and if they can cleanly get out, reset, and maybe go again, they'll feel pretty good about it.
I mean, this is a dynamic we didn't really talk about that much, but while Dire may have had some damage issues earlier in the game, they have no issues of stuns. OG really not very easy for them to start fights. It's either a charge, it's a Marcy jump, it's an Oracle Q, not really super consistent ways. Dire has like 15 angles, 12 stuns, like they're coming from all different places. And if Radiant isn't invincible, at some point it's a little bit spooky for OG to actually start the fight, like Avery was saying.
Now Tundra just boldly going into the triangle here. Uragi's going to start it off, though.
Yeah, once again,
they found the Shaker.
They found the Earthshaker. That is so important. They have the Chakram going out. Soxa gets a little bit of Force Staff away. Snaking helps him out, and they manage to reset. Meanwhile, Skeeter put the damage and already killed Misha. They're going to find the real Phantom Lancer here. Managed to get the ultimate off on him, too. He's going to be False Promise. They need to be able to save him. BZM right in the middle of things, trying to go for the break, but the Visage took hardly any damage whatsoever. And it seems like Tundra as a whole are looking pretty good as the Echo goes out in the back line to try and distance himself away from this Timbersaw. And now the rest of the team starts funneling in. They weren't able to get that chains done. Visage needs to get out as well. Fortunately, that Aghanim Scepter allowing him to fly away. He's keeping on top of Uragi, while Amar did find a little cubby hole to be able to TP out. So both the sidelines are going to be able to retreat and reset, but Tundra, once again, walking away the victors of the team fights. When was the last time OG won a fight?
When was the last time they killed a good target? I mean, we're talking about fights. It's just so hard to latch on to any of these heroes for OG. I mean, the stuns are pretty much on BZM to lock somebody down so Amar can get the damage out. They're surviving for a decent amount of time, but even that Shaker kill, that is the best target they can get in these fights. Find the Shaker on the back line, take him out. You remove so much control. He gets the force out, and he's living. Now all of a sudden, this fight is super weird, right? There's going to be more fissures coming in. You have to kind of try and fight around your Phantom Lancer, but he's getting his ass beat. I mean,
yeah, it really was. Once again, BZM didn't pop the BKB right away. He got hit by the Visage stun as he charged in. A
little bit costly.
And that cost him the Earthshaker kill.
I mean, it's just so annoying. There's so much random stuns in this game that you can't see.
Yeah.
Anybody can be invis charging through. Some bird's invis drops on your head. I feel
Arrow
for him.
hitting all the clutter.
Yeah, there's a random arrow in here, you know? Not an easy game.
I mean, it's also a game where this PL hero, he's not really able to solo kill people because there are so many stuns on Dire. There's so much kiting, the Force Staff, the invis, all this garbage.
Another infest charge.
Oh, they found the Oracle. They had the vision. They get the charge, and they also hit Nisha at the same time. So both supports already dead in this team fight. Meanwhile, Uragi, most of his time was spent being stunned. Visage familiars and the Visage himself dropping one after the other, completely stalled out any damage he could get down during that time. Tundra is going to respect OG here. They should. A buyback went out from the Oracle, so they got a lot out of that. No reason to push their luck.
How can OG supports play? Like, you can see what Tundra is doing. Like, OG has no way to actually kill heroes unless Tundra messes up some. They're spacing them, they're abusing the stun, the invis, the force staffs. Like, Uragi is desperately looking for a target to lock onto, but he's just getting kited, and the supports are just getting exploded instantly.
Yeah, it really does. Maybe this is, we talked about the drafting and their plan for 9. I mean, both times they drafted a hero that gets to the backline. We said OG, part of their setup here, the reason they're able to play so greedy on their cores is having these backline supports, these healers and stuff. So Tundra definitely came into this with the game plan of 9 is going to be killing Taiga over and over again.
And now if he dies again, that's that buyback cooldown as well. Yeah. You're out for a long time. It's just hard to protect this backline for OG. There's just so many ways to get in there. The birds can give vision invis. You get the charge with the infest. What actually prevents that? You need detection down, and you need to use this guy. He could be a BKB'd as well. I feel like OG needs to get that 2 big items in this game. It's got to be Abyssal on the Phantom Lancer and Hex on Timber. That is a very far way away. If they get there, I think now you have the disable.
Is there anything else besides items? Is there a way they can set up the fight? I mean,
Find the supports.
yeah. Well, the supports are going to be found. It's just the side of OG. Misha getting picked off there as Tundra once again really abusing this Moonlight Shadow. I mean, Smarana as a fight position seems pretty value at this point.
At this point, you have no issue with the hero. It is doing an insane amount of work in these fights. You have limited detection, especially most of the time, you know, detection coming out from your 4 and 5. This is not a 4 and 5 duo that wants the front line to plant a sentry or something. Like, you just instantly die.
The core's got to do it because they're the ones who are up in front.
Yeah, and we actually saw OG had a gem earlier in this game. That's why they got it, because they knew they needed this vision on the front line. Yeah. That was lost a long time ago. Taiga's gem in the hands of 33 Visage for a decent amount of time now. Not easy to take these fights vision-wise, and Tundra looking for the pincer maneuver here.
Yes, they are. They found the real Yuragi. Can they get the arrow stun? Not quite. He does manage Doppelganger away to the side. They have the Fisher to stall it up, but at this point...
33 in the back, though.
Oh, he is in the back, and he's going to be able to catch. They spotted the Oracle. Their charge is coming through, and he's already dead. BCM, meanwhile, does manage to grab 33. They've broken him and managed to get through his cloak, but he dropped down into stone form, so he's good. And Skeeter now comes in with a cleanup. A charge on through. Bumping BZM. Gets a bash as well. He's done. Slammed on the Yuragi, and that is it. Triple pickup for Skeeter. Ultra kill in the end. And now it's time to go high ground. Tundra. It was looking a little suspect in the first 15 minutes. We weren't sure if they were going to be able to pull through, but they had a strong understanding of how to play up against OG. And now it's going to be a lane. It's going to be straight up tier 4s. Are we going to go for it?
They are going.
That's a
Amar buys out Ags. He's trying to get the extra damage to dissuade this.
Oh my god. The double chakrams are going to be thrown out. This could be really messy. This could be, you have a serious lead here. You don't necessarily need to do this. But
Heal has to buy back hero. It would be a disaster for OG's item progression.
Let's see if they can hold. The double chakrams doing so much damage. This buyout of the Aghanim Scepter, it may just be what bails out OG, or maybe Tundra can be done. Misha gets up top. The Visage is dead. He doesn't manage to get up the stone fort. They've already cleared through the ages as well. 9, he's going to have to jump away. The Shadow Blade back out. Saksa spotted as well. Oh no, Tundra. Now they're not even going to be able to get Elena Barracks off of that. They cleared out the tier 4s. No infest. He's got an armlet toggle to work with, but he needed to get grabbed. The charge on through. Denied. He gets canceled by the AoE stun from BZM, and now 9 is going to be in some trouble. Run down by the Phantom Rush. A chance of revenge. A charge away just in time. The last bit of damage wasn't there quite yet. Tundra still a massive lead. Don't get me wrong, but surely they would have felt very good having Elena Barracks up and not giving away those kills.
Man, that is one of those calls at TI. It's like, it's a nice edge call if it's worth it or not. They get that Phantom Lancer buyback though, so all things said, probably still slightly favoring Tundra here, just destroying that PL economy. I think you're happy to sacrifice your Lifestealer once for that, but
It's so hard
definitely feel good if you're OG.
We need to blink. We need stuns. We need stuns. We need to farm Hex. I don't reach. It's not about Hex only.
Well, you're totally right, Avery. Stuns, big problem for OG.
Yeah, they need this Hex, they need the Abyssal. The Abyssal's just off the menu now, man. I mean, this PL is never going to get there. So even more falls to Amar. That Ags purchase was pretty clutch. Helps him defend the throne there.
No way.
He's on his way to Hex, but he is far.
Yeah.
OG trying to abuse this Lifestealer downtime as much as possible to get to that condition.
I thought maybe 9 spotting Yuragi there. I thought maybe they'd go for it. That would be a dieback like that. Could just be game.
Once the game is on Amar, this game's on Amar.
Yeah.
Like, this Ag, the double chakram has to connect with the Shaker, with the Visage off of a stun. Again, limited stuns, you got to make the damage count. He has to connect these spells. If you're going to bet on one Timbersaw in the world to do it, it's probably this guy.
Yeah, they need some like sneaky wards that Tundra like walks onto. They have some ward hidden in the corner, and suddenly Tundra's on vision, and Amar gets this blink angle where he double chakrams the guy and insta-kibs the Shaker before he has time to react.
I mean, the Marcy rebound huge as well. Like that fight, Misha connects with 2 or 3. That's their best stun, right? That's going to set up the Primal Beast engage. It's going to set up the Timbersaw damage. A lot of this game might be coming down to Marcy. Yeah, some of these earlier fights, just the charge throughs and the chain stunning that can come out. If you're on the retreat from OG, you are not getting out for this one.
Well, all eyes then on the Misha-Amar duo. See if they can get the combination of the right initiating stun and the damage to follow it up to win a fight for OG. This is There's a great opportunity if they can get it. The snaking kill, maybe not so much, but the Earthshaker does manage to slip away. Now the charge on through, they couldn't even kill the pot up. Misha is now dead. Amar's looking for something to be able to hunt, but look at Saksa playing the edges here. He's ready to go back in. The charge is controlling up ECM. He's not getting anything off. Now they've got the Fisher. The chain's done onto the Phantom Lancer. Yes, a false promise goes off last second, but is he even going to be able to have the heals? He's got the heart pumping away. He starts to throw some damage over to 9, but it's just pitiful. He's going to get stomped out. The heart regen is not going to be enough, and GG is called. Tundra 2-0 over OG. They've done it again. They set themselves in a position to be able to match up against their rivals within the Western European region. They said,